hello. Welcome to The Musicians. We are live from the studio on the second Tuesday of the month from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. We have put together some of your greatest local musicians who are eager to come here and play for us, but also to be able to show you the amazing talent that is here in this county. My name is Gary Logan. I'm your host, and with me tonight is Johnny Mack, the famous Johnny Mack. Now, Johnny Mack I've known for a while here, a few years while playing around, and I've always been extremely impressed, first of all, by his professionalism and the fact that every single time I go to the paper or look on Facebook or anywhere, he's playing somewhere. And if he's not playing on his own, he's playing with a tinkering fool or he's playing in the Petty Love. I'm just like amazed at the amount of work that Johnny here does. Now I know that he's given me a list of things here that are really funny, that I kind of like. But I like the fact that he plays what he calls fringe folk music. Now exactly, explain that. What is fringe folk music?
Well, it is roots music, rock and roll, artful pop. It's also traditional folk music, but because it has those other stuffs very, very prominent in it, it's a little bit more out there. It's a little bit more taking the story sometimes in non-literal places. It'll, could be avant-garde. It could be very traditional, but it doesn't really conform to sort of a purist sensibility. It is storytelling. It is performance. It is reaching out. It is, things that, I think are important about folk music, in that it's accessible to everybody, and that it is something very low to the ground. It doesn't take a lot of hype. It doesn't take a lot of, BS, basically. You just open your mouth and start doing things. It's creative. Right. And
I get
so
that.
it's just kind of shaking things up a little bit.
Yeah, because most people think most people think of folk music and they think back to the Phil Oaks, Peter, Paul and Mary, all through the '60s. They labeled Bob Dylan was folk music. Of course.
I love all that. I love Phil Oaks.
Of course, right. Of course, before he went electric with the band.
Right.
But wow. That's understandable now because we are in the 21st century, so we're not in the '60s anymore. So we can have all different types of folk music.
Yeah,
and
sure.
And it always struck me as strange to actually label the music as to what we pay. Or I'm playing pop, or I'm playing rock and roll, or I'm easy listening, and all these different names. I mean, basically, we're playing music, and as long as it's good.
Right. Yeah, there is something to be said for this good music or bad music. The labels are marketing terms. It's helpful to just sort of get a quick, everyone has a busy life, so it's helpful to have a quick, label. I don't mind the label. I don't mind having something concise to say. But to my mind, it is just a marketing term. And if you want to kind of put that out front, then, one can do so at their own peril.
Well, there we go. Exactly. So, I mean, but your career, obviously, didn't start here. You were from, where are you from?
Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Wow.
A Yooper, for anybody who knows that.
Is that like Midwest?
It is Midwest, yeah. It's kind of a place, it's so far north in a peninsula tucked in between Lake Superior and Lake Michigan that oftentimes it's left off the map. Sometimes it'll just be the same color as Lake Superior and Lake Michigan, and it's kind of jets off of Wisconsin. And anyway, that's where I was. I grew up as a kid all the way through high school, and this before the internet. It was more of a remote place, so you didn't get movies when they were released. You got them a year or two later. Going to like a mall, you'd travel to Duluth, Minnesota, and that would be a huge day. First time going to a record store, like first time seeing anything that you kind of take for granted living in the city, was really quite shocking. Usually, I was kind of older. When I started to really get into the, kind of the trappings of rock and roll and whatnot.
Lots of snow.
Lots of snow. In fact, right now I think it's like 30 below zero or something like that. But from there, just got out. And back then, again, kind of before the internet, it was a little bit more there was kind of economic depression for generational
Right.
depression, and so there wasn't really a ton of opportunities. Certainly wasn't for someone like me, I felt, and so I got out and ended up in the lower peninsula of Michigan, Detroit, Ann Arbor. Went to Michigan. I went to college at Central Michigan University, which is in Mount Pleasant, and started playing in more serious kind of bands and punk rock and garage rock and rock and roll, very serious music. You either do this well or you end up in the factory kind of music. Very important.
Yeah.
That's still in my not the sort of end up in the factory part, but like the sort of intensity. I really appreciate that in music still. So.
And how do you feel the difference of the music business these days? I mean, back in those days, I remember back in my day, it was like, you go and you record your songs and you try and hit as many A&R people and record company people as you possibly can. Listen to my song here, try to get yourself signed, doing any gigs that you possibly can do to get yourself heard. But these days in the 21st century, it's pretty little different.
Yeah. I think it's always evolving. I look at it like before the Beatles, you didn't really have a lot of the kind of commercial apparatuses that we take for granted today, like the double album, or there's just tons of things with the Beatles. For instance, I mean, you could just start there and like look at some of the innovations in and around that band. Of course, the '60s. If you go back 100 years. People would go into booths and they didn't really have, like, they sold sheet music. That's how you would sort of make your way as a musician. Nowadays, I don't know. I mean, I'm old enough to experience, new generations who have no idea who, people I would think you would never not know who they are, but that's just the way it is. The Grammys were the other night, and I don't know if, I don't like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, for instance. I don't know how relevant that is to the Grammys anymore. Anybody in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but that's the way it is. I don't think it's worth wondering about. I don't think it's worth worrying about one way or the other.
Well, it's not worry. It was for me. It was like the financial stability of a musician has always been very, very difficult. But you have a hit record, and then boom, you're what they say in the money, and you're then able to go on to the next step to try and get more hit records. But these days, we used to go into the studio, and the producers used to say, "Okay, we're going to make an album." But these days you don't. They're like, okay, well, we need one song. So we can put one song up on your Spotify or your Pandora or your SoundCloud or, all the numerous different ways now that music is distributed. Yeah. And you cross your fingers and hope that you get a whole bunch of hits on this one song, or that people actually download it or buy it from you. Back in my day, that was unheard of. You had to go in and have an album's worth of material ready to go for anybody to actually pick you up.
I think the big difference between like you and I when we were young men and probably going out and talking to agents or whatever, and trying to put deals together and monetize things. I think the big difference is that there were labels that could invest in people and sort of do like the R&D, the let people develop. You could have 3 albums that were not appreciated by the public, but like I might find and be like, these are classics.
Yes.
This is the real deal. You know what I mean? Like so today that doesn't really exist, I guess, but I don't know. So I was just talking the other day with somebody about how sometimes it seems like there really are a lot more opportunities to, make a little bit of money, and then sometimes it just sort of seems impossible, and it just, and I don't know. I think it's the music business is a tough business. The entertainment business is a tough business.
Yes.
It is a business. It's a business of interesting, how to hold people's attention. I don't know. I'm certainly not the expert on that.
But just as long as the best thing that you can do is just keep playing your songs and keep playing your music, and just hope that at the end of the day that that it happens.
I try not
Somebody's
to.
like click, 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 and
Try to
keep
keep the
clicking those
integrity
likes.
to the
Right.
process. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I noticed that in your writings here, you know, the ones that made me laugh, you spent some time up in Portland.
Yes.
And this is in the 90s.
Yep.
So that influence right now, we all know that, you know, up in Seattle and up there came that whole, you know, sort of grunge push through the 90s. So how much did that influence what you're doing today?
Well, that time was a huge influence in the sense of I have a lot of friends still there and doing things. The grunge thing, you know, I was still pretty Midwestern when like Kurt Cobain had died. Grunge was huge, but it was already kind of like a little bit tongue in cheek. So there were a lot of things in the '90s that were. The one thing that was happening is that there were a lot of labels kind of signing people. I mean, there was a lot of independent was a huge thing in the '90s.
Right.
Kind of sadly underappreciated. I don't think people realize like some of the great rock and roll bands of the '90s. I don't really hear in like sort of common discourse. You know, if you and I were to go out and just kind of go play with a bunch of people somewhere, like might not bring up a band like I don't know, just Pavement or something. You know, even though like there are a lot of people like the people who know it, but doesn't seem to have any sort of like resonant you know, cultural impact, but that's the way it goes. Gosh, there's a lot of things. For me, it was just playing music, I kind of changed my style a little bit. I got less aggressive. I got more into the West Coast, kind of, you know, get more a little bit deeper into roots music. You know, banjos and
violins.
Pedal steels or whatever, you know, like, you know, just kind of, as well as playing rock and roll, and had a lot of groups, had a lot of ambition at that time.
Well, you still seem to have kept that. I mean, you know.
Yeah, but I like to play, I mean, I put more premium on enjoying things these days. Then it was more like, you know, it was still like a hustle, like a real hustle.
Yeah.
Sometimes you put the blinders on, and, you know, and you just kind of do, and a lot of drama comes with that. So I feel like with you know, age, you gain a little bit of wisdom, maybe in the sense that you don't have to, you know,
let it bother you as much as it used to.
Yeah, or just like there's just a lot of drama.
Not shutting yourself in the room with your head under the pillow.
A lot of drama inherent to bands and things like that.
Oh, yes.
And you know, sometimes I look back at some of the things that never changes. By the way, there's still drama in bands.
Yes.
No matter what, it seems like. But the actual like what the drama is just, you know, change is different when you're 20, I guess, than when you're.
Yes, you don't take 95. Things as personal when you're when you get much older. Yeah, I remember the times back in the day that the dramas were like you've got a gig booked, you're ready to go, and it's outside, and they have a forecast of rain, but it's not raining. You get all your equipment, you get to the gig, and you get there, and they said, "Oh, well, didn't you get the notification? We canceled." And it's like, "Oh no, you can't cancel because I got like, you know, 100 people coming to this gig. Right. So what do you do?" And we said, we scrambled out and we went and we rented all of the PA system and the whole thing, set everything up and said, "We don't care if it rains or not, we're playing." And we got up there and we played, and guess what? It did not rain.
Yeah.
It was the whole night, and you know, the gig turned out great. You know, so those are little dramas and hookups that or hiccups that, you know, you come across in this business.
The flip side is when you play like a house party and then it is raining and you're still playing and it's pow.
Yes, right, exactly, exactly. There's all sorts of stories in and out there. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and take a minute here, a break, and when we come back, we will have Johnny Mac play us some of his wonderful songs. Okay, we will be right back.
Hey, Johnny Mac, I'm back. This is my moniker. It's St. Lunatic Productions. Probably can't read that. I wasn't thinking when I put this together because my website is stlunaticproductions.com, and I'm pretty sure that's something I don't even want to type into that's long URL. I should have did like SLP or something, so I might have to fix that. But it's stlunaticproductions.com. You can get a little bit more of what I'm about, including music and things like that. So I'm going to play a few songs. Thanks, Gary Logan, for having me. This is a song called Foolish Pride. These are all newer songs and probably going to be on a record, hopefully this year. I didn't choose the road less traveled, it chose me. And now I go to keep the wheel moving. I like to think things are improving, but let's not jump to conclusions. Oh, pride can get the best of me, too proud, getting loud. Damn it all to hell. Let's just say it never ends well. And now I stand before you, I'm all humble man, crossing a great divide, hearing it from all sides. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I'm done in by foolish pride. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I'm done in by foolish pride. Sometimes I feel I'm out of soulful solution, running through the paces, might have to face that I'm flying blind. Creature comfort's getting harder to find, and I'm about through with medieval witnesses. If they don't drive suicide, they are calling for a homicide. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I'm done in by foolish pride. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I'm done in by foolish pride. I need a break from the insanity. Well, I fear I'm losing my humanity. Little worlds collide, everyone trying to wipe out each other's tribe. Oh, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I'm done in by foolish pride. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I'm done in by foolish pride. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I'm done in by foolish pride. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I'm done in by foolish pride. Foolish pride. Foolish pride. Foolish Thank you, wonderful studio audience. This is a song called Selfish. Sometimes I wonder what it'd be like if it were all about me. Oh, I know that's what you do, you're selfish as can be. Why do you gotta be so selfish? Make some time for me. Why do you have to be so selfish? Selfish as can be.
so serious, you don't take me seriously. You're not so curiously self-serious, you make me furious. Why do you have to be so selfish? Make some time for me. Why do you have to be so selfish? Selfish as can be. Baby, you're selfish. You know that it's true. It's all about you, not a thought from you. Be so selfish. Where at the end all my friends could see where it was headed ahead of me. Oh, now you call, say you want a ball. I mean the ball, get yourself some company. Why do you have to be so selfish? Make some time for me. Why do you have to be so selfish? Selfish as can be. Why do you have to be so selfish? You make me wanna yell, but I'm through with the hard sell. To find someone who can gel, well, it's a two-way street. Woo! Thank you. Thanks. I'll play one more song, I guess. This is called "The Creatures Come Out at Night." Staying up that night, working on my novel in a rundown roadhouse bar. My days are gray from staying up late. The story getting more and more bizarre. The creatures come out at night. Oddballs, mystics, and maniacs trying to stand out in the clack of sideways conversation of the world relations that fade in daylight. Creatures come out at night. As the candles burn down, I'm still hanging around, working up a new angle, thinking how things might ought to be with a beer and whiskey and dancing like mystical jangles. The creatures come out at night. Oddballs, mystics, and maniacs trying to stand out in the clack of sideways conversations of the world relations that fade in daylight. Creatures come out at night. As the waking world sleeps, it'll put a tax on your energy, but I'm attracted to it anyway, even if just to extend the day. Adds some color to the gray. for my novel. It's not so much a story as an excuse to go to the bar, to hang with the castaway from workaday freeways full of cars. Creatures come out at night, oddballs, mystics, and maniacs, trying to stand out in the clack of sideways conversation of the world relations that fade in daylight. The creatures come out at night. The creatures come out at night. The creatures come out at night.
Wow, wasn't that fantastic? Johnny Mac there for you.
All right.
See, I told you that was going to be something special. Well, here we are. It's the musicians. We are live from this studio on every second Tuesday of the month from 6 to 7 for the next year. So please join us. I'm your host, Gary Logan, and we have number 2 for tonight. A really good friend and a savior to me is our friend Jared Koa Young, but we all call him Koa, right?
Yeah.
Koa, because that's your
Aloha.
nickname. Yes. So Koa is from Hawaii, which is great because that's a place I've always wanted to go to, and I've been there once. Man, it's gorgeous. It's great, great surfing too. Now, of course, it's about music here on this show because we're musicians. That's why the show is called The Musicians. And you are one amazing musician. I know over the past couple of years, I have seen you play, and every single time you open your mouth and sing, I'm just like, I feel like I'm there in Hawaii surfing. And of course, we're going to hear some of that later. But what I want to know the most is did you play in Hawaii when you lived there?
Yeah. I grew up. I guess I started playing in high school with just friends, and we just played around and played in the backyard. And then I rented an apartment in like about a mile outside of Waikiki after high school. And we used to just play every night, surf in the day, and jam, ukulele, guitars, and sing. And
Sounds like a Jack Johnson story.
it was good times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds it. So I mean, was it traditional music that you mostly played, or did you play like, Beatles songs or like covers, or the way that most of us grew up in the music business was by playing other people's songs and then gradually getting into the art of songwriting, because you do write some of your own stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, it was a mix of modern pop and some traditional, and it's funny because a lot of the artists in Hawaii, they would take a cover song from like the Beatles or something, and that was like the first version I would hear. So I always thought, oh, that's a great song, and I thought that it was a Hawaii artist. And then I moved here and I heard the Beatles, and I said, oh, they did it too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of songs like that.
Yeah.
And not only the Beatles, Rolling Stones, a lot of people, especially with the Hawaiians, because I remember one of my favorite Hawaiian covers was Nothing Compares to You, the Prince song. Sinead O'Connor did it, and then it came out with that little sort of like ukulele, Nothing Compares to You, and they started to sing it, of course, in the language. And of course, we don't understand what they're saying, but you can understand what they're saying because you already know the song in English. So that's why I asked this, because that was my favorite thing, is the way they would take these cover songs and interpret them, make them basically Hawaiian, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that style.
We'd add like reggae kind of.
Yeah, and I notice you do that a lot, which I admire
Yeah.
a lot, and so that's why I'm so glad and can't wait to get you up there. So now while you're here, what are the aspirations here for your music? I know that you work regular jobs, and you own your own business and run the things that you run. But where do you see yourself in music?
Just keep playing music. That's the bottom line, I guess.
Yeah, but you play, like I've noticed you play background for Hawaiian dancers. And,
Yeah, I play for hula. I just like to keep playing music to keep my mind sharp, and people seem to enjoy it, so I love playing for them.
Yeah, we do enjoy it.
That's about it, I guess.
Ah,
Got
okay.
a day job, and
Right, but you do you ever play like with a full band, or is it
yeah, I
always
got
just-
a band, Honolulu Blue, and we haven't been playing much lately, but they're there, and I'm working on an album too, so
Oh,
hopefully,
okay. So you in a recording studio, or you're recording this yourself?
recording studio.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, a friend of mine. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm doing that too. It's like
Oh,
it's
cool.
like it seems to be the things to do here is to get into the studio, record the songs that especially the ones that you write, so that you'll always have, something to show people here. This is what this is what I'm doing. Also, it opens the doors for the gigs.
Yeah.
Whenever you play. Now, do you play around a lot? I mean, do you?
I try to play a gig once a month,
Oh,
and then
okay, that's
do
good.
the open mics and
Yeah.
just keep my chops fresh. And
Well, that sounds great.
yeah,
Well, let's see. Let's get you up and play some music. So we can go away right now. We'll cut off to a commercial for you, and we'll be right back with Jared Koa Young. Koa Young. We'll be back to play some.
it's one of the first songs I ever wrote. It's about surfing. Don't think I haven't noticed you flowing across the bay. Your movements are graceful and beautiful. I just stop and stare, searched and waited for days on end, yeah, wanting to see you again. I dream of you when I go to bed, yeah, you're always in my head. I've searched for you all day, and I'll dream of you all night. Whenever I see you, it's such a delight. Swallow me, oh, and let me travel, space and time, I'll ride your marrow. Swallow me, oh, and let me travel, space and time, I'll ride your marrow. Your power is foreseen, but I believe in harmony, yeah. Starting to get in deeper, it's getting a little steeper. Swallow me, oh, and let me travel, through space and time, I'll ride your marrow. Swallow me, oh, and let me travel, through space and time, I'll ride your marrow. Thanks. Here's another song about surfing. Actually, let's do this one. child, I used to play all day in the waves. Late at night, lying in my bed, the sand and the sea still inside my head. I asked my father, Daddy, what can it be? He said, there's water in you just like the sea. It's moving and a grooving to the rhythm of the ocean. Hear the rhythm, rhythm of the ocean. Hear it right where you are. Feel the rhythm of the ocean. Moving and grooving to the moon and the stars. As a man, I had to live far from the sea. I thought it was destiny. I wanted prosperity, and at the time, I used to have the most wonderful dream. Late at night, lying in my bed, just moving and a grooving to the rhythm of the ocean. Hear the rhythm, rhythm of the ocean. Hear it right where you are. Feel the rhythm of the ocean. Moving and grooving to the moon and the stars. Distance I could hear that roar. Was it in my head? The second wave is crashing through my door. Surface up in my own room. Just remember this story about the waves. Palm trees sway, sand and sea, just moving and a grooving to the rhythm of the ocean. Hear the rhythm, rhythm of the ocean. Hear it right where you are. Feel the rhythm of the ocean. Moving and grooving to the moon and the stars. Hear the rhythm of the ocean. Hear it calling your name. Feel the rhythm of the ocean. Moving and grooving to the wind and the rain. The song called Cookie, the island of Kauai. He manao I kaveku o koke I kanani o ka aina I tunoe po aia
Okalalao he ainala I taua lili o ai mea ku'ule aloha nevermore say goodbye nevermore say goodbye. E ho'i mai ana I ka hikina I ka la vela vela I ke kai Havana Havana Ipu ipu makulua O ka la lao E aina la Nevermore say goodbye Nevermore say goodbye Meleao no ka beauty I kauka ui ui I koke ua I ke au I tuno ko ai ai O ka lalao e aina la I taua lili O ai mea ku'ule aloha Nevermore say goodbye Nevermore say goodbye Nevermore say goodbye Thank you.
Awesome. You have one more.
One more.
How we doing? The background music going for me, Koa. We got the musicians right here. We're, Nevada County Media. We're live from the studio on the second Tuesday of the month from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Please do stay tuned, because I'm going to get up and play some song for you. But I want Koa to play one more, an example of how he would play a cover tune, say a reggae tune or something like that, how you turned it into, to make it your own sort of style. How can we do that? So here we go, Koa.
You got a capo? Okay.
Maybe.
How about this one? Sometimes I lay under the moon. I thank God I'm breathing. And then I pray, don't take me soon. I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know one day I'll turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more war, and the children will play. One day, one day, one day, oh, 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 one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose, 'cause we all lose when they beat on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving though the water stay raging. And in this maze you can lose your way, your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it phase you, no way, no way. 'Cause all my life I've been waiting for, praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more war, and the children will play. One day, one day, one day, yeah. Oh, 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 one day, one day, one day. Change, treat people the same. Stop with the violence, down with the hate. One day we'll all be free and proud to be under the same sun, singing songs of freedom like all my life I've been waiting for, praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more war, and the children will play. One day, one day, one day, oh, 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 one day, one day. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Song from Matisse.
Thank you very much,
Hey.
Toa. That was amazing.
Okay.
Now, wasn't that fantastic? That was the show for tonight. I'm going to get on. I'm going to play a song for you to play out for the evening. This is my one of my favorite songs that I wrote about here on the mountain. It's called, I can't remember what it's called. Home is Where the Heart Is. So, this is a Nationals Dobro steel guitar. And might be a little louder. It's called Home is Where the Heart Is. Been everywhere, but I never had no home. Try to do it right, but it just turned
for me to realize. Home is where the heart is, yeah, it's not in your mind. Go to the mountain, or just don't go alone. In my heart, I'm gonna find my home. It's in my heart now, baby. Thank you, everybody. Good night from Nevada County Media.